Have you ever wondered how you can truly know when a man loves you, not just with his actions, but with his soul? Think about it for a second. Words. They are powerful. They can build you up or break you down. They can heal wounds, or they can cut deeper than any blade. And when it comes to love, words reveal something much greater than most people realize. A man may smile. He may show up. He may even try to impress you. But it's the words he chooses, the ones that slip past his guard, that tell you the truth of his heart. Psychology teaches us that people reveal their deepest emotions not when they're planning to impress, but when they're simply being themselves. When the mask falls, when the walls come down, that's when love speaks loudest. Now here's the truth most people don't want to face. Love is not hidden in grand gestures or dramatic promises. Those things can be faked. Anyone can buy flowers, anyone can plan a dinner. But the words a man speaks when he is deeply in love, those cannot be faked. They come straight from the core of his being. And that's what we are diving into today. The hidden language of a man's heart, the 6 phrases he will say, not casually, not out of habit, but only when his feelings for you run deep, when you mean more to him than anyone else. Before we begin, I want to give you a reason to stay until the end of this video, because at the very end, I'm going to share with you the one final truth, the most powerful gift you can take from this. It's something that will not only help you recognize love when you see it, but will also help you never settle for less than you deserve. That's the reward for staying. That's the promise. But first, let's ground ourselves in something important. Why do words matter so much? Why is it that when a man speaks, his words carry a weight heavier than diamonds, heavier than gold? The answer lies in psychology. You see, every human being has 2 languages. The first is the language of the mind. That's the everyday conversation, the surface level talk. But the second is the language of the heart. And the heart cannot lie for long. When a man is deeply in love, his subconscious begins to reveal it in the way he speaks. He uses words he doesn't plan. He shares thoughts he didn't even know he was holding. His voice changes, softer, warmer. He begins to reveal his vulnerability. And why is this important? Because vulnerability is the ultimate sign of love. Think about it. A man can put on a show for the world. He can be strong, cold, unshaken, but the moment he begins to open up, the moment he lets his guard fall with you, that's when you know his feelings are real. His words become windows into his soul. Here's the truth. People don't always say I love you directly. They reveal it through 100 smaller sentences, 1,000 hidden moments. A man who loves deeply will start to say things he's never said before. And if you pay attention, if you listen with your heart instead of just your ears, you'll notice the shift. You'll notice the difference between words that are routine and words that are born from love. So let me ask you another question. How many times have you doubted love because the actions were there but the words were missing? How many times have you felt cared for but not truly seen? It's not your fault. We are wired to crave both action and affirmation. Human psychology proves it. Our self-worth grows not just from what people do for us, but from what they speak into our lives. A man who truly loves you will speak life into you. He will say things that strengthen you, that make you feel valued, that remind you of your worth. His words will echo long after he has spoken them. And those words become fuel. They become motivation. They become the reason you feel stronger, more confident, more alive. But there is something even deeper here. When a man is in love, he doesn't just say what you want to hear. He says what you need to hear. He notices your struggles. He sees the weight you carry. He hears the silence between your words, and he chooses to speak into that silence, to fill it with strength and reassurance. That's not just romance, that's commitment. That's connection. That's love at its purest. And so, the journey we are about to take together isn't just about identifying 6 simple phrases. It's about awakening your awareness to what true love sounds like. It's about learning how to recognize when his words are more than words, when they are actually his heart speaking to yours. So as we move forward, I want you to remember this. Never ignore the words that move your soul. Never dismiss the sentences that bring you peace in the middle of chaos. Because when a man truly loves you, his words will not only tell you you are loved, they will remind you that you are worthy. And if you ever forget, his voice will bring you back to that truth. Stay with me until the end, because when we finish, you won't just know what phrases reveal deep love. You'll also walk away with something far greater, the unshakable belief that you deserve nothing less than a love that speaks into your soul. Love is invisible, but it is never silent. It always finds a way to speak. The human heart longs for expression, and the tongue becomes its bridge. Words are not just sounds, they carry emotions, intentions, and energy. They shape how we feel about ourselves, and they influence how we see the people around us. When love is real, it cannot stay hidden inside. It rises to the surface, and the first place it shows is in the way someone speaks. Psychologists have studied this for years. They tell us that communication is more than half of what holds relationships together. Actions may grab attention, but words leave lasting imprints in the mind. They echo long after the moment passes. That is why a single sentence can stay with someone for years. You may forget the gifts, you may forget the details of certain days, but you will always remember the words that touched you deeply. When a man cares with all his heart, his words start to shift. They no longer sound mechanical or casual. They gain warmth, they gain sincerity. His tone becomes softer, and his choice of language begins to show a layer of respect and admiration. Without even realizing it, he starts speaking from a place of devotion. This is why it's so important to pay attention, not just to what he says, but how he says it. Hidden in his speech are clues that reveal his true emotions. There is a reason words are powerful in love. They feed the human need for recognition. Every person has a deep desire to be seen, heard, and understood. When a man loves deeply, he fulfills this desire with his speech. He begins to say things that make you feel valued, not because he rehearsed them, but because he genuinely feels them. That kind of expression is rare, and it is priceless. Think about this for a moment. Why do people treasure letters, notes, or even short messages from someone they love? It is because those words carry the essence of the person's feelings. They are reminders that someone was thinking of you, caring for you, believing in you. Words become anchors for the soul. They remind us that we matter to someone, and they bring stability in moments of doubt. The most fascinating part is that words spoken in love are not just emotional, they are also transformational. They change the way you see yourself. Imagine a man looking at you and telling you something uplifting, something that strengthens your spirit. Suddenly, you stand taller. You feel capable of more. That is the psychology of affirmation. When love expresses itself through speech, it plants confidence inside you. It gives you energy you didn't even know you had. This is why a man who is deeply connected to you does not simply speak out of habit. His words begin to carry responsibility. They become a reflection of his commitment. He realizes that what he says to you has weight, and that weight can either build you up or tear you down. A man who loves deeply will always choose to build. He understands that his voice has the power to either hurt or heal, and he chooses healing. There is also another truth: silence can feel heavy in a relationship. When words are missing, doubt creeps in. But when love is present, silence becomes rare because love pushes a man to express himself. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't leave you guessing. He wants you to know without a single doubt that you are significant in his life. His words are not about pleasing you temporarily, they are about reassuring you permanently. It is important to remember that the human brain is wired to respond to encouragement. When someone says uplifting words to us, our brain releases dopamine, the same chemical linked with joy and reward. This means that loving words not only touch the heart, but they also trigger positive changes in the mind. They make us feel safer, more secure, and more open. This is one reason couples who speak kindly and affirm each other often enjoy stronger, longer-lasting bonds. So, when a man truly loves, his words become more than simple communication. They become medicine. They bring calm when there is chaos. They bring direction when there is confusion. They bring hope when life feels heavy. You may not even realize the impact of what he says, but you will, because you'll feel the difference inside your soul. This is the miracle of language and love. It turns ordinary moments into meaningful ones. A simple phrase, spoken with genuine care, can change the way you see an entire day. That is why you should never underestimate the words of a man who loves deeply. They are not random. They are not accidental. They are the purest signs of what he feels. And here lies the deeper message. True love speaks truth. It does not hide. It does not manipulate. It does not confuse. When a man's heart belongs to you, his words will show it. They will carry honesty, respect, and devotion. You won't need to second guess, because the consistency of his language will bring clarity. So the next time you hear him speak, listen closely. Don't just hear the sound, feel the intention. Pay attention to whether his words make you stronger or weaker. Because a man who truly loves will always use his voice to remind you of your worth, to lift your spirit, and to anchor your heart in certainty. When a man looks at the woman he loves and says, "I'm proud of you," those words carry a power that is deeper than many realize. Pride in someone is not just admiration, it is recognition of their value, their growth, and their strength. To hear this phrase from a man's lips is to know that he doesn't just see you, he respects who you are becoming. Think about the meaning behind those 4 words. They are not about him, they are about you. They are about your efforts, your journey, and the way you face challenges. In psychology, validation is one of the greatest emotional needs we have. Every person longs to feel that what they are doing matters, that their struggles are not invisible, and that their victories are worth celebrating. When a man says, "I'm proud of you," he is giving you that validation. He is telling you that your life inspires him. This phrase is so powerful because it shows that his love is not selfish. He is not only focused on what he gains from the relationship, he is focused on who you are, and he is invested in seeing you grow. That is what separates shallow affection from deep connection. Anyone can say, "I like being with you," but it takes a deeper bond to say, "I'm proud of you," because that statement requires attention, it requires noticing, it requires him to see the details of your efforts and to honor them. There is also something beautiful in the timing of these words. A man may say them when you accomplish something big, like reaching a milestone or achieving a goal. But the truest form of this phrase often comes in the small moments. It comes when you don't even realize you are doing something remarkable, when you show kindness, when you push through difficulties, when you stay true to your values. That's when it matters most, because it shows he is watching, he is present, and he values the person you are every single day. Consider the psychology behind pride. When someone expresses pride in you, it increases your self-esteem. It gives your brain a signal that says, you are enough. What you are doing is meaningful. This is why children grow stronger when parents say they are proud, and it is no different in adult relationships. Those words act as fuel. They encourage you to keep moving forward, to keep believing in yourself, to keep shining. When love is genuine, a man cannot help but want to lift the woman he adores. He wants her to feel stronger, more confident, more secure. Saying "I'm proud of you" is not only a compliment, it is a form of emotional support. It is him choosing to be your ally, not just your partner. It is his way of standing beside you and saying, "Your victories are my victories. Your growth inspires me." There is also a deeper layer here. When a man says he is proud, he is revealing vulnerability. Men are often taught to keep emotions hidden, to remain tough and guarded. But expressing pride is different. It requires openness. It requires acknowledging that he looks up to you, that you have qualities he admires. That is not weakness. That is strength. It takes courage for a man to put his admiration into words. And when he does, it means his heart is fully invested. Think about how these words feel when you hear them. They bring a sense of security, don't they? They remind you that your efforts don't go unnoticed. They remind you that you are not walking through life unseen, and that reassurance is priceless. In a world where many people feel overlooked, being told "I'm proud of you" by the person you love can change your entire outlook. This phrase also reveals the kind of relationship he wants to build. He is not looking for competition. He is not trying to dim your light. Instead, he wants to celebrate it. He wants to lift you higher because your success brings him joy. That is what real love does. It celebrates. It does not compare. It encourages. It does not criticize. It empowers. It does not limit. There will be times when life feels heavy, when challenges pile up and doubt creeps into your mind. In those moments, his words can become your anchor. "I'm proud of you" becomes more than just encouragement. It becomes a reminder of your resilience. It becomes proof that someone believes in you, even when you struggle to believe in yourself. That kind of support can give you the strength to keep pushing, to keep climbing, to keep believing. The reason these words carry such deep meaning is because they touch a need we all share, the need to be valued for who we are, not just for what we give. When he says, "I'm proud of you," he is not just admiring your achievements, he is honoring your character. He is showing that he sees your inner strength, your discipline, your persistence, your heart. And knowing that someone loves you not only for what you do, but for who you are, that is priceless. Love at its highest level is not about possession, it is about appreciation. A man who truly loves will not just hold your hand, he will honor your journey. He will remind you that your life has meaning, that your efforts have weight, and that your presence is a gift. That is why I'm proud of you is not just a phrase, it is proof of his love, his respect, and his commitment to walk beside. Not just when things are easy, but when life requires strength. So the next time those words reach your ears, don't brush them aside. Let them sink in. Let them remind you that you are enough, that your story is inspiring, and that someone sees greatness in you. Because when a man speaks this way, he is not only showing affection, he is showing the depth of his soul. There is something deeply comforting about hearing the words, "I've got you," or "Don't worry, I'll handle it." These are not just casual phrases. They are promises. They are signs of a man stepping into a role far greater than just a partner. He is becoming a protector, a supporter, a safe place. At the core of every human being lies a desire for security. We all want to feel that when life gets hard, someone will stand with us. When a man is deeply in love, he cannot ignore this instinct. His heart drives him to shield, to provide stability, to carry some of the weight from your shoulders. And the way he expresses this most often is through these simple but powerful words, "I've got you." This phrase reaches beyond the surface. It speaks directly to the need for reassurance. Life is uncertain. Stress, challenges, and unexpected storms are part of the journey. And many times those storms make us feel alone, even when we're surrounded by people. But when a man who loves you tells you not to worry, what he is really saying is, "You are not alone. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." That assurance brings peace to the mind and calm to the heart. Psychology tells us that the feeling of safety is one of the most powerful foundations for trust. Without safety, love cannot grow. Without stability, affection cannot last. That is why these words mean so much, because they address the deepest need of all, to feel protected and secure. A man who is willing to stand between you and life's chaos is showing love at its purest level. He is saying, "Your battles are my battles. Your worries are mine to carry too." It is important to understand that when a man says, "I'll handle it," he is not claiming that you are weak or incapable. On the contrary, it is a reflection of his devotion. It is his way of saying that he wants to share the load, to make life easier for you, to give you the rest you deserve. That kind of love is not about control. It is about care. It is not about superiority. It is about sacrifice. Think about what this really means in daily life. It could be as small as taking care of tasks so you don't feel overwhelmed. It could be stepping in when you feel stressed, or standing up for you when someone disrespects you. It could even be as deep as carrying emotional burdens with you, listening when you feel broken, holding space for your pain. In all of these moments, his words echo the same message: "You are safe with me." This is not just about words, it is about the intention behind them. Anyone can say, "Don't worry." But when a man in love says it, he follows it with action. He does not let the promise hang in the air. He proves it. He backs it with effort. And that is how you know his heart is true. His reassurance is not hollow. It is grounded in loyalty and commitment. There is something profoundly healing in knowing that someone has your back. Human beings are wired for connection, and we are stronger when we feel supported. When a man expresses this kind of commitment, it takes away fear. It reduces anxiety. It allows you to focus on living rather than constantly fighting to survive on your own. That is the power of a man's protective love. It gives you freedom. And here's the beauty. These words are not just about today. They are about the future. They carry a silent vow. No matter what happens, you will not face it by yourself. That is the essence of devotion. It is not just about romance in the good moments, but about loyalty when life is messy. It is not just about being present in happiness, but being strong in hardship. When a man truly cares, he doesn't wait for you to ask for help. He steps in naturally. He notices when you're overwhelmed, when your spirit is heavy, when your energy is fading. And instead of criticizing, he comforts. Instead of demanding, he reassures. Instead of walking away, he steps closer. His voice becomes a shelter, and his presence becomes a refuge. That is why these words carry so much weight. Imagine for a moment how different life feels when you know someone is there to catch you if you fall. You breathe easier, you take more risks, you grow more confident. That's the unseen gift hidden in these phrases. They don't just bring comfort, they empower you to live more fully because you know you're not facing everything alone. There is also another side to this phrase that reveals something very telling about his character. By saying, "I'll handle it," he is showing responsibility. He is demonstrating that he is not afraid to take on challenges for the sake of someone he loves. That is leadership, but more importantly, it is love in action. Words like these reflect a man who is committed to building, not just benefiting. He wants to create an environment where you can thrive without fear. Love at its highest form is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, dependable, and consistent. These simple words, spoken with sincerity, reveal that kind of love. They reveal a man who does not run from responsibility, but embraces it. A man who doesn't see love as a burden, but as a blessing he wants to protect. So when he tells you, "I've got you," or "Don't worry, I'll handle it," know that he is opening a piece of his heart. He is declaring, without hesitation, that your well-being matters to him more than his own comfort. And that is one of the clearest signs that his love is not shallow. It is deep, enduring, and true. Few words hold as much depth as when a man looks at you and says, "You make me better." This phrase is not about romance on the surface. It is about transformation. It is about the way your presence inspires him to rise, to grow, and to become more than he thought he could be. When a man speaks these words, he is confessing that your influence has touched the deepest parts of his character. Human beings are wired for growth. Deep inside, everyone has the desire to improve, to overcome their weaknesses, and to reach their full potential. But often, that desire lies dormant until someone awakens it. Love has a way of doing this. When a man is truly in love, he begins to see himself differently. He looks at you, and suddenly he wants to be more, not for the sake of appearances, but because you have inspired him. When he says, "You make me better," it is his way of admitting that your love has changed the way he thinks, the way he behaves, and the way he sees his own life. It means you bring out the qualities in him that he may have forgotten or ignored. Maybe he becomes more patient, more disciplined, more focused. Maybe he learns to dream again, or to fight harder for his goals. Whatever the change, it is a reflection of how deeply your connection has impacted him. This phrase is powerful because it is rooted in humility. For a man to say that someone else makes him better, he has to lower his pride and acknowledge that he is not perfect, and that takes courage. Many people resist admitting their flaws, but a man in love does not fear this. He embraces it. He sees your presence as a gift, not a threat. He recognizes that your influence lifts him higher, and instead of hiding from it, he honors it. Psychology tells us that relationships act as mirrors. We often see our best and worst selves reflected in the people closest to us. When a man says you make him better, it means that the mirror you hold reflects his highest potential. You make him want to step into the version of himself that he knows he can be. That kind of influence is rare, and it only happens when the bond is deep and genuine. Consider how much this phrase reveals about his respect for you. He is not just appreciating your beauty or your presence, he is admiring your impact. He is acknowledging that your character, your strength, your spirit pushes him to become more disciplined, more kind, more focused. That is not infatuation. That is true admiration. And it proves that his love goes beyond surface attraction. It reaches the level of growth and transformation. Think about how love works in its highest form. It is not just about giving comfort. It is also about awakening greatness in each other. The strongest connections are those where both partners inspire each other to grow. And when he says you make him better, he is admitting that you are not only his partner, you are also his motivation. You are the reason he sets higher standards for himself. You are the reason he keeps striving, keeps climbing, keeps pushing toward his best self. There is also something beautiful about the vulnerability in this statement. For a man to say these words, he is letting you see his inner world. He is letting you know that he is not satisfied with staying the same and that your presence gives him the courage to evolve. This kind of openness creates a stronger bond because it allows both of you to walk the path of growth together. When you hear these words, you should understand the weight behind them. They are not casual. They are not empty. They are the evidence of deep love. They mean that he does not see you as a distraction or as a temporary part of his life. He sees you as the reason his life is reaching a higher level. And that is one of the clearest signs that his heart is fully invested. Imagine what it means for him to carry this thought every day. Every decision he makes, every habit he changes, every effort he gives, It is shaped by the belief that you inspire him. That kind of love has the power to transform not just him, but also the relationship itself. Because when both people are constantly making each other better, the bond becomes unbreakable. There is a psychology principle that explains why this phrase feels so powerful. It's called positive reinforcement. When we feel that someone is helping us grow, our brain begins to associate that person with progress and success. This creates an even deeper attachment. So when he says you make him better, he is not only expressing love, he is showing that his mind and heart are attaching his growth to your presence. That creates loyalty, commitment, and long-lasting devotion. Love should never keep someone stuck. Love should never hold someone back. Real love pushes, challenges, and elevates. And that is exactly what these words reveal. They show that your presence is not only comforting, but also empowering. You give him the courage to face his flaws and the determination to keep improving. That is the mark of a relationship that is destined to last. So when a man tells you, "You make me better," take it as one of the deepest confessions of love, because it means he doesn't just want you beside him, he wants you within the very fabric of his growth. He sees you not only as part of his present, but as a reason for his future success. And in those words, you can hear the truth. His love for you is not passive, it is active. It is a love that builds, a love that lifts, a love that transforms. There are few phrases more revealing of true affection than the simple words, "I miss you." On the surface, they may sound ordinary, but when spoken from the heart, they are a powerful confession of longing, connection, and emotional investment. When a man says this sincerely, it shows that his love is not limited to the moments you are together. It stretches into the spaces where you are apart. To miss someone is to feel their absence as if it leaves an empty space within. It is a sign that your presence matters, that your energy brings something no one else can replace. When a man truly loves, your absence is not just noticed, it is felt. And the act of telling you, "I miss you," is his way of revealing that his days feel incomplete without you. Psychology teaches us that attachment is one of the strongest human needs. We are wired to bond with those who bring comfort, trust, and safety. When separation happens, the brain reacts with signals of longing. This is why love creates such deep connections, because the heart begins to associate happiness with that one person. For a man to openly admit he misses you is for him to expose that bond. It is him saying, "You are not just part of my life, you are part of my peace." This phrase is not about dependency, it is not about weakness, it is about value. It means he values your presence so deeply that even when he is surrounded by people or busy with tasks, he still feels the quiet ache of your absence. That kind of longing is not casual. It is proof that his emotions run deep. There is something profound about the vulnerability in these words. Many men are taught to hide their emotions, to appear strong, to never admit need. But when a man says, "I miss you," he's breaking down that barrier. He's allowing you to see that his heart is not untouched by distance. That honesty reveals courage. It takes strength to admit need, and even more strength to express it. Think about how it feels to hear those words. They remind you that you matter, not just in presence, but in absence. They remind you that your influence is not temporary. It lingers, it echoes, it stays. To be missed is to be cherished. It means you bring a light into his world that he cannot ignore when it is gone. These words also reveal how deeply you are woven into his daily life. Perhaps he misses your voice, your laughter, your encouragement. Perhaps he misses the small things, your conversations, your perspective, your energy in the room. Whatever it is, those words show that you are not just someone he enjoys when convenient, you are someone whose absence changes the rhythm of his life. Psychologists explain that longing creates stronger bonds. When someone misses you, their brain is reinforcing the importance of your connection. This is why distance often makes love grow stronger. The space between you highlights the value of the bond, and when he tells you he misses you, he is letting you know that he has realized just how much you mean to him. There is also a sense of devotion in this phrase. A man who doesn't care will not say it. He may distract himself, ignore his feelings, or act indifferent, but a man who is deeply connected will choose to speak it out loud, because he wants you to know how much you matter. He wants you to feel the impact you have on his heart, even when you are not physically near. That kind of expression builds trust because it shows he is not afraid to reveal his emotional side. Love is not just about enjoying time together, it is also about feeling the pull of the heart when apart. I miss you is the clearest sign of that pull. It means he carries you with him in thought, in memory, in longing. It means he doesn't see you as just another part of his life. He sees you as an essential part of it. Imagine the strength of a relationship built on this kind of connection. When both people feel the ache of absence, it proves that the bond is alive, growing, and unbreakable. It means love is not tied to convenience. It exists even in silence, even in distance. That kind of bond can weather storms because it is not dependent on being together at every moment. It is strong enough to endure separation and still remain whole. This phrase also carries hope. When a man says he misses you, he is not only speaking about the present distance, he is also expressing the desire to close that distance. He is looking forward to the next moment you meet, the next conversation, the next memory. His longing turns into motivation, pushing him to stay committed and to hold on to the connection. Never underestimate the weight of these 3 words. They may sound simple, but when spoken with love, they reveal a heart that is attached, loyal, and sincere. They reveal a man who not only wants you around when life is bright, but who aches for you when life feels ordinary without you. That kind of longing cannot be faked. It is the mark of genuine love. So when you hear "I miss you" from the man who loves you, don't take it lightly. Let it remind you that your presence leaves a mark, that your influence is unforgettable, and that your love has carved a space in his life no one else can fill. Because when he misses you deeply, it is not just a phrase, it is a confession of how much his heart belongs to you. There are words that comfort, and there are words that transform. Few are as powerful as when a man looks into your eyes and says, "I believe in you." Those 4 words carry the weight of trust, faith, and unshakable support. They are not just a statement, they are a declaration that he sees strength in you, even when you may not see it in yourself. To believe in someone means to look beyond their present circumstances. It means recognizing their potential, their abilities, their hidden greatness. When a man deeply loves you, he does not only focus on who you are today, he sees who you can become tomorrow. His love gives him the ability to look past struggles, setbacks, or doubts and instead focus on the greatness he knows is inside of you. Psychology teaches us that encouragement is one of the most powerful forces in human relationships. People rise higher when they are surrounded by voices that affirm their worth. Doubt is heavy, fear is loud, but when someone you love whispers, "I believe in you," it silences the noise of insecurity. It awakens courage. It creates determination. Those words act like fuel for the spirit, pushing you forward even when the road feels impossible. When a man tells you he believes in you, he is not speaking lightly. He is offering his confidence as a gift. He is telling you that your dreams matter, that your goals are not too far, and that he trusts your strength to achieve them. This is more than romance. It is partnership. It is him saying, "I stand with you," not only when life is easy, but when life demands every ounce of your courage. Think about the moments when life feels overwhelming. Doubt creeps in. The mind fills with questions. Am I capable? Am I enough? Can I really do this? In those fragile moments, a single voice of belief can change everything. A man who loves you deeply understands this. And so he chooses to speak words that lift, not words that weaken. His phrase, "I believe in you," becomes a shield against fear. It becomes the reminder that you are not fighting alone. What makes these words so special is that they reveal how deeply he values your journey. He is not just with you for the moments of joy. He is invested in your growth. He wants to see you rise, to see you reach levels you once thought were out of reach. That kind of support is rare. Many people may cheer when you succeed, but only someone who loves deeply will speak life into you when you are still climbing. This phrase also reveals something profound about trust. Belief is not only about seeing potential, it is about choosing to have faith even in uncertainty. When he says he believes in you, he is telling you that his confidence in you is stronger than his fear of failure. He is choosing faith over doubt, and that faith becomes contagious. You begin to believe in yourself more because you know that someone else already does. There's another layer to this phrase that is even more powerful. When he tells you he believes in you, he is surrendering his pride. He is admitting that he does not need to control everything, that he trusts your judgment, your decisions, and your path. That is one of the highest forms of respect. It shows that he does not see you as someone small, but as someone capable of greatness. Imagine how different life feels when you have someone who constantly speaks this kind of faith into you. Suddenly, challenges feel less intimidating. Setbacks feel less permanent. You begin to carry yourself with more confidence because you know that no matter what happens, someone is standing behind you, reminding you of your strength. That is the impact of belief. It multiplies courage, it builds resilience, and it unlocks potential. Psychologists call this the Pygmalion effect, the idea that people often rise to the expectations placed upon them. When someone believes in you, you naturally push harder, aim higher, and achieve more simply because you don't want to let that faith go to waste. This is why his words are so powerful. They don't just make you feel loved, they help you grow into the strongest version of yourself. And here's the truth: anyone can admire you when you succeed. But it takes real love for a man to believe in you when you are struggling, when you are doubting, when the path ahead seems unclear. That is the mark of deep devotion. Faith that does not waver when life gets hard. His belief in you is not conditional, it is constant. It does not depend on circumstances, it depends on love. When he says, "I believe in you," what he is really saying is, you don't have to carry the weight of doubt alone. I see what you're capable of, and I will keep reminding you until you see it too. That is more than affection, it is commitment, it is love at its highest level, because it does not just comfort, it empowers. So when those words reach you, let them sink deep. Let them remind you of your strength, your resilience, your brilliance. Let them be a voice louder than fear, louder than doubt. Because when a man truly loves you, he does not only give you his heart, he gives you his belief. And belief is the foundation upon which dreams become reality. There are 3 words the world waits to hear: I love you. But the truth is, real love does not always reveal itself only in those words. It shows up in the tone of his voice, in the patience he offers, in the small moments that often go unnoticed. When a man loves deeply, he will not only say it, he will live it. And the way he chooses to speak those words, whether directly or through his actions, becomes the proof of how real his feelings are. When love is genuine, it is not rushed or forced. It is steady, it is consistent, it is present even in silence. A man who truly loves will express "I love you," not just through verbal confession, but through the way he protects your heart, through the way he honors your presence, through the way he chooses to show up when life demands loyalty. Love, in its deepest form, is not just heard, it is felt. Psychology reminds us that the human heart craves security more than anything else. People do not only want to hear that they are loved, they want to feel it, to experience it. Words alone can be empty if they are not backed by genuine intention. That is why a man who loves sincerely will ensure that his actions match his words. He knows that love is not only a promise, it is proof. Think about the quiet ways he communicates this feeling, the way he checks on you, not out of duty, but because your well-being matters to him. The way he listens, not only to respond, but to truly understand your thoughts. The way he chooses kindness, even in disagreement, showing that your relationship is more important than winning an argument. All of these are his ways of saying, "I love you," without always needing to use the words. And when he does speak the phrase, it carries weight. It is not casual. It is not something he says simply out of routine. Instead, it is rooted in sincerity. You can feel the depth behind it because you already see the evidence in how he treats you daily. This makes his words powerful. They are the echo of everything he has already shown. There is something profound about love expressed through consistency. Anyone can speak affection in moments of passion, but it is the steady, repeated choice to care, to respect, to uplift that defines deep love. When a man says, "I love you," not only in speech, but also in presence, in reliability, in loyalty, it becomes undeniable. It becomes a truth you can lean on. What makes this phrase so transformative is that it provides reassurance. Life brings doubts, insecurities, and fears, but to hear someone affirm love and to see it proven day after day creates a sense of peace. It tells you that you are not alone in this journey, that someone has chosen to walk beside you, not only when it's convenient, but through every season. That reassurance builds trust, and trust builds unbreakable bonds. Psychologists often talk about the love languages, the different ways people give and receive affection. Some show love through words, some through acts of service, some through time, some through gifts, and some through touch. When a man is deeply invested, he does not limit himself to just one expression. He finds ways to speak love in the way that matters most to you. This adaptability is itself a hidden I love you. It proves that his focus is not just on his own comfort, but on what truly makes you feel valued. Consider how empowering it feels to hear those words from someone who has already demonstrated them through actions. They become more than a phrase, they become an anchor. They remind you that love is not a fleeting emotion, but a choice he makes again and again. They remind you that even in a world full of uncertainty, there is one certainty: his heart is with you. And yet, the deepest I love you is sometimes unspoken. It shows in the way he sacrifices time to be there for you. It shows in the way he prioritizes your needs, even when it requires effort. It shows in the way he defends you, supports you, and believes in your worth. These are not grand gestures. They are quiet, steady acts of devotion. And often, those are the loudest expressions of love. When a man says, I love you, and means it, he is not only describing how he feels, he is making a commitment. He is saying, I choose you. I choose us. I choose to give my energy, my time, my heart to this bond. That choice is what makes those words powerful. They are not just a statement. They are a promise of loyalty, consistency, and care. Love in its truest form cannot be hidden. Even when he does not speak the words, his actions will declare it. You will feel it in the way he looks at you, in the way he remembers the small details, in the way he places your happiness alongside his own. These are all whispers of I love you, woven into the fabric of daily life. So when a man loves you deeply, I love you becomes more than a phrase. It becomes a language written in patience, spoken in faithfulness, carried in actions, and sealed in truth. You do not just hear it, you live inside of it. And when love reaches this level, it becomes unshakable, because the greatest proof of love is not only in what is said, it is in what is consistently shown. Every phrase carries a surface meaning, but when spoken from the heart, its depth goes far beyond the words themselves. A man who loves deeply does not choose his expressions casually. Each statement becomes a window into his devotion, his respect, and his vision of the relationship. These phrases are not random. They are signals of something greater, something powerful, something that binds two lives together with invisible strength. When he speaks with love, what he is truly doing is building connection. Human beings are wired to seek bonds that provide safety, belonging, and purpose. Psychology teaches that one of our greatest needs is to feel understood and valued. The words he chooses reflect his desire to meet those needs for you. They are not just pleasant sounds. They are tools of reassurance, reminders that you are seen, heard, and treasured. Think about what it means when someone says, I'm proud of you, or I believe in you. On the surface, they may sound simple, but at the core, they are affirmations of worth. They say, you are capable, you are strong, you are enough. And hearing that from someone who matters creates a powerful shift inside the mind. It strengthens confidence, quiets fear, and fills the soul with courage. That is the deeper meaning. It is not about the phrase itself, but about the transformation it creates within you. Love expressed in words also becomes a foundation of trust. Every phrase is a deposit into the emotional bank account of the relationship. The more deposits of kindness, respect, and affirmation are made, the stronger the bond grows. Over time, these words accumulate into a powerful truth, the knowledge that you are safe in this love. And safety is what allows the heart to open fully, without fear of betrayal. A man who chooses to speak with sincerity is not just communicating, he is leading with vulnerability. To say, I need you or I love you requires honesty. It requires lowering the walls of pride and exposing the truth of his emotions. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage. And when he allows himself to be vulnerable, he is giving you a gift, the gift of his unguarded heart. That is the deeper meaning hidden beneath the words. There is also an element of responsibility in these phrases. A man who loves deeply does not only express emotion, he takes ownership of what those emotions mean. Saying I'll be there is more than comfort. It is a promise of consistency. Saying you make me happy is more than affection. It is an acknowledgement that your presence changes his life. Every phrase carries responsibility because it ties his heart to his actions. That responsibility is what separates empty words from meaningful ones. Consider the psychological impact of hearing words of love repeatedly. Over time, the subconscious mind begins to accept them as truth. The more you hear that you are cherished, supported, and believed in, the more your inner voice begins to echo the same. This is the power of affirmation in relationships. It reshapes self-perception. And that is why these phrases matter so much. They do not just describe love, they build it, reinforce it, and strengthen it. What makes them even more meaningful is their timing. A man who loves deeply does not only speak when it is easy. He speaks when you are doubting, when you are afraid, when you are unsure. His words become light in the darkness, hope in the struggle, peace in the storm. The timing reveals intention. Anyone can celebrate you in moments of victory, but only someone devoted will remind you of your worth in moments of weakness. Love is not measured by grand speeches. It is measured by consistent truth spoken over time. Each phrase he uses becomes a brick in the structure of trust. Slowly, steadily, they build a foundation so strong that it cannot be shaken by fear, doubt, or distance. That is why the deeper meaning of these words is not only about affection, it is about construction. He is building a safe place for your heart to rest. There is also a reflection of vision in what he says. His words reveal not only how he feels now, but how he sees the future. When he speaks belief, pride, or loyalty, he is painting a picture of where he wants to go with you. His words are a compass, pointing toward commitment and longevity. That is the hidden meaning beneath the surface. Every phrase is not only about today, but about tomorrow. At the deepest level, these phrases mean one simple truth: he values you. They are his way of saying, you are not just part of my life. You are essential to it. You matter in ways I cannot replace. And that recognition is the heart of love. When someone values you fully, their words reflect it constantly. They cannot help but affirm you because their soul is overflowing with gratitude for your presence. So the real power of these phrases lies not in the words themselves, but in the truths they carry. They speak of trust, responsibility, vision, safety, and value. They go beyond sound and become the language of the heart. And when a man chooses to love this way, his words become more than expressions. They become evidence. Evidence that his devotion is not temporary, but lasting. Evidence that his feelings are not shallow, but profound. Evidence that his love is not fragile, but unshakable. Love is not only about the phrases that are spoken, it is about what those words awaken inside of you. When a man expresses his heart with truth and consistency, he is not just giving you comfort, he is inviting you to see yourself in a brighter light. Every statement, every affirmation, every declaration is a mirror reflecting your value, your strength, and your irreplaceable place in his life. But here is the most powerful part. When you hear these words and let them reach your soul, they do more than make you feel loved. They ignite something within you. They remind you that you are worthy of devotion. They remind you that you deserve a love that lifts, not one that drains. They remind you that deep connection is not found in shallow gestures, but in the courage of consistent truth. Human beings thrive on recognition. Psychology tells us that our self-image grows stronger when it is nurtured by positive reinforcement. And love, at its core, is the most profound form of reinforcement. When someone says they are proud of you, when they speak faith into your future, when they promise to stand by your side, it feeds the deepest parts of your heart. It rewires the doubts that life has planted and replaces them with confidence. This is why these phrases matter so much. They are not small or insignificant. They are seeds of growth planted in the soil of trust. Over time, those seeds blossom into resilience, courage, and hope. That is what true love does. It does not leave you as it found you. It shapes you, strengthens you, and helps you become the fullest version of yourself. And that is why it is so important to recognize the difference between empty words and real devotion. Anyone can say the right things when it benefits them, but when a man loves deeply, his words are not performance, they are promises. They are not used to manipulate, they are used to build. They are not temporary, they are timeless. Love proven through words is not about perfection, but about truth spoken consistently. But do not forget this. As much as it matters to hear these words, it is equally powerful to believe them yourself. A man may remind you of your worth, but you must also carry that belief inside. His love can strengthen you, but your inner voice must agree with it, because the most unshakable foundation is when love from the outside meets confidence from the inside. That is when nothing can break you. The greatest gift of hearing these phrases is not only the comfort they bring, it is the courage they awaken. When someone says, "I believe in you," it plants a conviction that you can face any storm. When someone says, "I love you," it reminds you that you are not alone in this journey. When someone says, "I'll stand with you," it teaches you the strength of partnership. Each word is an anchor in a world that often feels uncertain. And here is the truth. Whether you have heard these words yet or not, you are worthy of them. You are worthy of being loved in ways that build, not break. You are worthy of hearing phrases that make your soul stronger, not weaker. You are worthy of a love that does not only speak, but proves. Never doubt that. Never settle for less than that. When you embrace this truth, something shifts. You stop chasing words that mean nothing, and you start recognizing words that carry weight. You stop giving your heart to those who only take, and you start opening it to those who give. You stop settling for love that drains, and you start holding out for love that transforms. That is what it means to walk in strength. It is not about being hard. It is about knowing your worth so deeply that you cannot be fooled by empty promises. Remember this always. Words are powerful, but only when they come from a heart that means them. A man who loves deeply will not leave you guessing. His words will match his actions. His phrases will line up with his consistency. His declarations will be proven day after day. And that is how you will know, because true love does not only speak, it shows. So let these words inspire you, not just to recognize love when it comes, but to believe that you deserve it. Carry with you the truth that you are valuable, that you are strong, that you are irreplaceable. And let every phrase that is spoken to you with love serve as a reminder, not only of his devotion, but of your own greatness. Because in the end, the power of love is not only about being cherished, it is about being awakened. Awakened to who you are. Awakened to what you can become. Awakened to the truth that you are never too much and never not enough. And when love speaks into your life with this kind of strength, it does not just fill your heart, it sets your soul free.